Yo, what is going on YouTube? It's good to see you again. I hope you're having a great day. Today we're going to be watching one of the funniest influencers that, that I've uh, that I've watched. Her name is ShoeOnHead, and she does a lot of she does a lot of male issues that society tries to play, like male Sudoku rates, male loneliness epidemic, male dating strategies, female dating strategies, that kind of stuff. So she's really, it's kind of like the South Park of YouTube, but in real life. So we're gonna get started here, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
Oh, I didn't see you there. What am I reading, you ask? Well, just one of the best-selling books on Amazon right now. With millions of sales and almost 20,000 five-star reviews, this book has been absolutely blowing up, especially on TikTok, or BookTok, as the kids call it. Thousands and thousands of women, in particular, have been raving about this piece of literature. What piece of literature is it, you may ask? Well, Morning Glory Milking Farm, of course. A popular romance novel about a young woman down on her luck who does what every young woman does when facing financial struggle. She starts an OnlyFans.
She's not kidding. But, chat, when you hear milking farm, what does that make you think? There's a girl and a bull.
I'm just kidding. She wouldn't degrade herself like that. She gets a job jerking off monsters.
That's right, the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
I have been reading Morning Glory Milking Farm.
You look like you could be milked. Do you moo too? Oh my God, she is a whale and she's eating Cheez-Its.
I'm obsessed.
This was a good time. It did not disappoint.
If this book is trash, then I am a fucking raccoon.
Was that just a talking raccoon?
Give me all of the garbage.
Get your eyeballs on this because it is so good.
Loser. Holy moly.
I regret to inform you that there is a new epidemic. An epidemic that many have yet to discuss. And that epidemic is female gooners.
I'm reading what I read.
Now, for those of you unaware, gooner is internet slang for someone addicted to porn. And smut is slang for dark romance novels.
So, women addicted to porn with dark romance novels. Sounds like a stereotypical liberal to me.
Otherwise known as porn. Many correct about the dangers of porn addiction.
Wasn't it the girls who made up the term goth mommy? I heard a kid in the gym the other day say that, and I was like, what the heck is a goth mommy? And he goes, you know. I was like, no, I don't.
With men, how it can destroy their lives and their relationships, and most men know the material they consume is weird. That is why they are ashamed of it. That is why they delete their browser history. That is why they go incognito mode. But these bitches freaks out here. They display their smut openly in bookstores. They proudly pose in front of their smut collections. They discuss their smut openly on TikTok. They go to smut conventions and get choked out by 9-foot-tall shirtless wendigos. Now, I know what you are thinking. Shoo, isn't this the pot calling the kettle?
And by the way, those white monsters are absolutely fire, but I don't like the way that they taste as much as I like the green monster. The one with sugar in it, I feel like is even better, but like it gives me so much of a buzz. So the zero sugar green, that's where it's at.
Degenerate? Yes. Yes, it is. But have you considered it takes one to truly know one? You see, women are strange, fascinating creatures. For centuries, men have tried to figure us out. Our mood is affected by the tides.
Look, I got my wife figured out. Y'all ready for this? She wants to eat. And she wants to cuddle. And she wants me to make her feel important. What's there else to figure out?
In the moon, we bleed for 5 days and don't die. By painting my face, I can instantly shapeshift from a 4 to a 6. We are truly mysterious, magical creatures.
I wonder what
But one of the most mysterious aspects of women to men is our sexuality. You see, us women are not like those disgusting moids. No, we are sophisticated. We are evolved. We don't watch videos of strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. No, we read about strangers slapping their sweaty bodies together. It's different.
Remember when Harry Potter came out, chat? Like it was all, and Twilight too. It was nothing but women. It was like the women Gooner convention, and it was like the beginning of what I think she's talking about.
Okay? You don't understand. It's okay when we do it. So,
No.
let's talk about it. Let's
False.
talk about the rapidly growing popularity of dark romance on TikTok and the recent dark romance convention that ended in disaster. Let's take a break from all this depressing political news and talk about something silly. Not that those political things aren't important, trust me, they are. You should be keeping up with politics and the news when you can. I know it can be difficult to do.
Milk farmers can vote.
But fear not. I have an app for that. So before we get into this video, let's quickly give a shout out to our sponsor, Ground News.
Okay.
Ground News.
We're gonna skip because ain't nobody got time for that.
20 were right-wing, 1...
All right.
They are rated by the spice. And what does spice mean?
Yeah, what the heck, spice?
Porn. It means porn.
These stupid kids, like, you know, back in the day, we called something what it actually was. So, you know, if it was porn, that's what we called it. If it was a monster, if it was an alien, if it was a, you know, a snake or whatever, we just called that one word, corn. And, jeez.
Spice level is very important to both.
What's up with all these new definitions for something that we've already invented? It's like, ha ha ha, I feel so clever. I created something. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It's always been around.
Book talkers. How much spice does a book have? What are the spicy?
They call it spicy because they don't want to admit they're selling their bunghole for $4.99.
Books they have ever
By the way, that's too expensive for how much they're worth if they're willing to do that.
read. How spicy is the book they're currently reading? Spice, spice, spice. Where is the spice? I need the spice.
Where is the spice?
And
Look
the
at her mustache.
spiciest book going viral on Book Talk lately is none other than Morning Glory Milking Farm by C.M. Nascosta. Violet
Wow.
is a typical down-on-her-luck millennial,
That sounds like someone who would write that kind of book, just being honest. Did you hear the name?
mid-20s, overeducated, and drowning in debt. Oh my god!
Imagine
She's
that.
just like me!
Was she a liberal arts major too?
On the verge of moving
Oh, or was it psychology? Let me guess.
into her parents' basement, when a lifeline appears in the form of a very unconventional job in the neighboring Cambric Creek. She has no choice but to grab it with both hands. Morning Glory Farm offers full-time hours, full benefits, and generous pay with no experience needed. There's only one catch. The clientele is grade A certified prime beef. Oh, God. With the manly, meaty endowments to... Okay.
You know what? If you're a Christian and you read this crap, you're not a Christian. I mean, this is straight up like devil worship, like 100%. This is what the Lord calls bestiality, one of the most abominable sins among the Lord. So, like, this is hard for me to watch.
Morning Glory Milking Farm is actually a profound critique of late-stage capitalism.
Liberal single cat wife and cat husband romance novel.
And toxic masculinity. In this text,
What
we
was it, the
see that
single
the
cat
tingling
lady? Is that
sensation
what
in her
J.D. Vance
coochie is actually the tingling sensation of a Marxist revolution.
Oh my god.
This is every fucking BreadTube video to me, dude. This is every Jack Saint video. So I
I told you it was a political video.
actually read the book myself, and I'm not gonna lie.
Whoa, okay, I'm judging you. That's so bad.
The 19th Amendment needs to be abolished. So, like I said, the story is basically this millennial named Violet, and she gets a job basically working at Big Pharma in Narnia, where they harvest Minotaur milk to make Viagra for human males. And I
Why?
read the whole thing. Probably gonna be put on some kind of watch list. But listen, this is my job, okay? I'm not out here like selling
Excuses.
feet pics or
I thought you were above that, girl. I thought
something.
You were above
What
it.
I do is far more dignified and normal.
No.
Now let's take a look at
Not
some of these
anymore.
notes I wrote.
You know, Asmongold has a wonderful saying. If you build 100 bridges and you suck one wiener, you're a wiener licker.
Let's see. Big dick and balls. At one point she says the term, and I quote,
Awkward.
The seam of his sack. So I'm reading this and the whole time I'm thinking like, okay, he probably has like a human head, right? He probably like looks something like this, like, you know, just a dude with like horns. Then I see the official artwork. That's a cow. Bro is a cow. Bro is a straight up cow. In a few parts they're being intimate and it will be like, his hooves clip-clopped. My hooves will tear up your sheets. And it's like, I'm sorry, his what? At one point, she describes kissing him, and I swear to God it was more disgusting than anything else described in this book. She's like describing how big and wide his mouth is and how big and like slimy his tongue is. She's like
It's like trying to French a toad.
describing the shit and you're just like, that's a cow. I mean, we are at a solid 5.5 on the Barbeau scale here. This is dangerous territory, folks.
This is so freaking bad. This is so bad. What's even worse is there are people that can read this and they like it. And they can vote.
Also, f***ers his ass. She f***ers the cow's ass. By the way, if you want an uncensored version of this video and all my videos, Patreon. Go to Patreon, become a member. All members get the uncensored version of every video. So you can hear me talking about s***ing and f***ing and f***ing a cow's ass. Is that what you freaks want? Anyway, I like how in this fantasy world student loans still exist. Like, we can imagine a world with minotaurs and humans in a relationship, but we can't imagine a world without student loans. Sad. Oh, and he has one of those bull rings, like the nose ring theory septum rings. And in this world, that means, like, you're married, but apparently he's divorced. The man is divorced. This is a divorced cow with a cow ex-wife. The lore is deep, folks. The funniest part, though, has to be when they go on a date. I need to just read this to you. When the bill arrived, she attempted to pull a handful of carefully folded bills from her wristlet before he stopped her.
I mean, if you look at the cover of the book, I mean, that's a bull. That's a male cow.
No, that's absolutely not happening. Put that away. She'd not thought about it until the day after their first dinner together, realizing that in mortification that she ought to have attempted to pay her half. What kind of feminist are you? She asked herself. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been out and hadn't paid for her.
Oh, so yeah, this is a political book. Talking about feminism. What kind of feminist are you? It's a cow.
Her half, including her coffee date with Carson Tinsley. She had come prepared that night, several weeks of her tips smoothed and tucked into her wristlet. But I didn't even offer to pay half the other night and shouldn't have Violet. If the commanding rumble of his voice hadn't silenced her, the heat of his hand dropping to her knee would've. I don't want you to feel that you don't have any agency here. I might be the one giving all the orders, but you hold all the cards. Your comfort is the only thing that counts right now. And if I overstep, I want you to know you can tell me so. But that's not happening. Don't think I'm unaware we're at different points in our careers. You can say no, you can say you don't want to see me again, you can tell me to stop coming to the farm when you're working. It's dinner, not a down payment of your time. But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone. So when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. She was a good feminist, she told herself, and she definitely couldn't be bought. But if he had suggested at that moment that he would have appreciated a blowjob, she would have fallen face first on his cock with an open mouth without a shred of hesitation. Inside every woman, there are two wolves.
That's not a woman.
Or two.
That's a demon. What kind of person thinks and talks like
Bulls.
that?
The strong, independent girl boss and the submissive, doting housewife.
Man.
And in the presence of a masculine man, or a farm animal, she will fold like a lawn chair and instantly return to factory settings.
It's dinner, not a down payment for your time.
Chat, does she look like a woman who would enjoy a nice big bull dick in her mouth? Let's keep it 100. Yes.
But I'm in a position to comfortably spoil someone, so when you're with me, I'm spoiling you. End of story. I said, okay, I highlighted that paragraph for myself.
Clean up aisle 5. So that's what I thought of it. But what did other people think of it? What are the reviews on this book? This book has a 4.1 on Amazon with 21,000 ratings and a 3.6 on Goodreads with nearly 60,000 ratings. Let's just read some random ones here.
Goodness.
Hear me out. Hear me out. A milking good time. Sweet and creamy. The spice is spicing. I was very leery of starting this because I thought it was just going to be porn. The plot is pretty good.
It is. It is just corn.
The plot? Please. This is like the new, I read Playboy for the articles, like, sure you do. This book could kill a Victorian child. 5 stars, I'll never look at a jug of milk the same. I think I'm lactose intolerant now. So that happened. Our eyes will never see the gates of heaven. 1
That's
star,
true.
not a helpful guide. This book failed to teach me how to milk a cow and now my family has no food for the winter. 1 star, accidentally ordered while on pain medication after an operation. Gave this to my mom as a joke gift for Christmas. You what? Lesai, why can't human males be more like this?
I mean, women, if you're with a guy and you want to have sex, just ask. The answer is always yes. Like 99% of the time. If I'm in the middle of a video game and my wife comes up to me and she's like, hey, you want to have sexy times? I'm like, let's get it.
Tall, rich, and handsome are no longer enough, boys. Now you have
Males
to be
are
a
like
9-foot tall creature from Greek mythology with a 13-inch dick. I never want to hear from another person about how they read 100 books in a year if this is the kind of slop they are consuming. Well, Ronald, man detected, this isn't for you. This is for women. So take your ass back to Barely Legal Babysitter 5 or whatever the
That's what they said about most of the video games. And the games that said that, they actually did so badly, some of the major studios had to close because they said, this isn't for you. We see how that worked.
you watch that is so morally superior than this. Let him who is without sin cast the first stone, okay? God bless America. It's great to live in a country where I can casually enjoy cozy erotica about a young woman who milks her way to financial security and true love with a minotaur. This is what freedom looks like, and I intend to fully enjoy it before the Supreme Court takes this right away next. If this is what freedom looks like...
Well, we've got to think, is this better in a school library or a transgender book? I think they're both terrible.
I'm really rethinking my stance on freedom, not gonna lie. Maybe we should have less of it. All I know is if Donald Trump takes the monster porn, we are going to make 2020 look like a picnic, okay?
Oh my gosh, I know.
Bullcock matters. Oh my god. Edit that out. Editor, edit that out. Women are gonna be picking up Animal Farm now, like, where's the horse cock? Some of you people owe a certain streamer an apology because this book has way too many 5 stars. Some of you are lying. So after buying this book, Amazon has given me a few interesting recommendations. Would you like to see them? I accidentally summoned a demon boyfriend. That time I got drunk and saved a demon. Gentling the beast. Cupcakes for my orc enemy. Mane of my existence. The gargoyle and the spinster. The widow and the orcs. Hoarded by the dragon. There's
Female furries, man. Female furries.
something about dragons. Getting it on with gargoyles. Gotten by the gator. Mated to the mountain bear. Oh, so this is why they chose the bear. The billionaire orc. Moth manager. Wolves and whipped cream. The wolf in my tavern. Pounded by produce. Oh, what? Are these the books the Nazis burned?
My husband only reads finance and sci-fi books, and so I think it's about time that I introduce him to some real literature. So the first book that I would like to introduce you to is called Morning Glory Milking Farm. And it's not a normal milking farm like with cows. What it is it's big, bulky minotaurs, and it's a special type of milking.
See,
I would immediately divorce her. Like, I'm not even kidding. You think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding. I wouldn't even say, nope, I want a divorce. I'd just walk out and take all my crap.
honey, she's his stepsister, and she got stuck in the washer machine again. Women on TikTok are openly, proudly talking about the porn they consume and getting mad at people when they make fun of it. I hereby ban men from reacting to romantasy on TikTok. Best-selling romantasy books like A Court of Thorns and Roses and Fourth Wing contain descriptions of hot sex. I feel like that's common knowledge, if not their primary purposes. But in recent months, book talk has become full of men clutching their pearls while reacting to steamy scenes from these popular female-centered books. Obviously, this is all a massive performance. We live in the age of OnlyFans. The odds are that these men have seen actual porn that defies the laws of physics and God. Over 90% of men between the ages 16 and 73 watch porn in any random month. There's statistically no way all of these guys are shocked by the sex itself. What they are
Actually, speaking from experience, I am actually. Number one, I don't do that. Number two, I'm married. Number three, I can have sex anytime I want. I mean, legitimately, like my wife is down. I mean, we've had conversations about this like 1,000 times. It's what's shocking about this is a woman's lure to bestiality and an abominable sin amongst the Lord. That's what's shocking to me. I didn't realize how many like liberal looking women are like engulfed in this. I mean, it's astounding. This is absolutely political. I mean, there's references of feminism in there. Come on. Oh, it's not political. Well, then why's the word feminist in there? And why are the people consuming these books like gothies and weird people and glass freaks and whales and, you know, people who look like they don't fit in normal society, the hot topic females? Why are they the ones consuming this literature?
gawking at is sex from the perspective of female desire, scenes that depict women coming first and
This
frequently.
is disgusting.
And what they are surprised by is the women they know love these scenes. In one video, a guy declares, "Now I know why women enjoy book clubs and wine," but his astonishment in itself
They ain't reading this, brother.
is astonishing. Like, what do you think adult women were into? Not having sex and drinking wine? Grow up.
Well, look, if you guys want sex so much, just go out and get it. Find a random guy on the side of the street, say, "Hey, let's go back to my place." He'll say, "Yeah, let's go."
Wow. Imagine a group of men sitting around drinking wine, discussing the porn they watch. That is what you guys are essentially doing. It's just funny, okay? Like, it's funny. Are we really going to pretend that a story about a young woman getting a job milking mythical creatures to pay off her student debt is not funny? It's funny. If that makes me...
I know lots of girls in real life who sell their butthole for $4.99, and they do milk humans to pay through college.
A sexist...
And then their employer finds out what they did before then, and they fire them.
Misogynist...
Because it's on their TikTok. It's on their YouTube. It's on their Instagram.
You got me. To act like you are so different and above the other Gooners is just, it's silly. I'm sorry, but you are no different than Joe Schmo jorking it to fat booty Latinas in Space 12. You're sitting there all high and mighty, one hand on the book, acting like you're so superior because you can perfectly envision a horse cock spinning 360 degrees in your mind. I'm not impressed. The scenes these men are reading, to many people, myself included, are insanely sexy. But purely in terms of the acts being described, they aren't all that lurid. And as many of the comments on these videos point out, there is much wilder stuff out there. For example, these men have clearly not yet discovered knotting, a popular term in romantasy right now that involves werewolves whose penises get so swollen after sex they have to stay inside their partners until the swelling subsides. Oh, honey, that's not a popular trend.
That's glorifying devil worship is what that is.
Trend in romantasy. That's just a thing real dogs
There's a term for it. It's called bestiality.
do. Oh, you just don't get it. You don't know what knotting is. What are these women reading, bro? What happened to that, like, stupid fucking corny Hallmark thing, going home for Christmas to your hometown and falling in love with the cute farmer boy? What happened to that? We used to make fun of that.
Well, all of these OnlyFans chicks left that guy because they wanted more options, and now that guy is making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the woman is still single with probably 2 or 3 children running after the next Chad that she sees.
We truly did not know what we had until it was gone. Now women out here fantasizing about getting their asses clapped by demons and werewolves and goblins and ghouls. I remember when 50 Shades of Grey came out and people were like, oh my god, this is so crazy. Women are crazy. 50 Shades of Grey looks like missionary sex through a bedsheet for the sole purpose of procreation compared to the the average woman on TikTok is reading. At least Christian Grey was a human man. And
well, you answered your question. TikTok. That's where these people are.
Not a fucking dog! You fantasize about dating the quiet, shy, nerdy girl. You know, she's innocent, she's pure, she's not like those other girls, like, going out clubbing.
You know, a lot of these weird girls, these like big, heavy, whale-looking girls with the glasses that self-proclaimed feminists, these liberal women, you know, it's like they've never asked a guy, like, hey, you want to go get a coffee? Hey, you want to do this? You want to do that? Like, you know, they sit there and complain that nobody's into them, and then they read crap like this, and they don't even try. It's like, dude, if you just clean it up a little bit, do your hair a little bit, you stop being such a brood, you pretty much give up feminism. You want a man, give up feminism. You can have these fantasies with a real person in real life, but you can't do it behind a cell phone screen. And you can't do it on TikTok. You got to get away from that social media garbage. Lots of women want this type of fantasy with a person in real life. That's why they're attracted to these depraving acts. But the reality is you can. And me and my friends are living something very similar to that. Pretty much a fantasy. It's as good as it gets. Can't get any better. And I just wish you guys could get to the point to where you realize social media is toxic. This is one of the most depravable sins on the earth. It's called bestiality. The Lord actually describes it as an abomination, some of the most detestable of all. And so it's just like, I really want everyone to win here, but you can't do it while you're reading garbage like this and being a gooner. You got to get away from the internet and go out and touch grass and talk to real human beings. You can't build anything if you don't try. I mean, come on.
And hooking up with random men, no, she's at home, curled up by the fire in a blanket, reading a book, except that book is about f***ing a half man, half bull. Let me let you in on a little secret. The quiet, nerdy girl is way more of a freak than the average hoe. Are you kidding?
I've actually noticed that she's dead on.
Me, it's not even close. The average hoe might have a body count of like 15 or so, but the quiet nerdy girl is fantasizing about getting back shots from Cthulhu. That is at least 100 bodies. Now listen, there's nothing inherently wrong with fantasizing, okay? There's nothing wrong with role play, you know.
If you're a Christian, there's a lot wrong with it. It's detestable.
Fiction is fiction, right? You know, you're not actually going to...
I understand most of my audience isn't, but out of respect for you guys and out of respect for me, let me have my opinions and y'all have yours. We can still sit at the same table and eat.
Bang your stepsister, right? These women are not actually going to bang a cow, or at least I hope
they will. I promise you.
Hope not. We all know there is a difference between fantasy and reality. Yeah. Well, what happens when they try to bring fantasy into reality? Well, you get Sinners and Stardust.
What is happening? Isn't that the Silent Hill guy?
What in the eyes wide shut is going on here? Sinners and Stardust was supposed to be a dark romance ball for romantasy authors and fans alike. So what's the big deal? Seems like a fun, sexy time, right? Maybe, if you're a woman. If you're a man, the night may have gone a little differently for you. Alright y'all, it appears I have to make a post that I'm frankly pretty goddamn upset I have to make. This post is for the readers who don't understand consent and boundaries only. A lot of you may know my good friend Animus. He's attended a signing of mine in the past and obviously is a musical artist. This past weekend he attended Sinners and Stardust and probably had one of the most heartbreaking experiences. So listen, he's a man, right? But do we think that means it's okay to put your hands all over him without consent? Or to put your hands in his waistband or down his pants or touch his dick? Hello? Do we think it's okay to quite literally back him into a corner and touch all over him to the point that he literally cannot tell how many hands are on him and whose are whose? Do we think it's okay to send him into an actual panic attack because of this? Furthermore, do we think it's okay to interrogate him and insist he detail how he'd kidnap a woman despite him repeatedly saying he wouldn't do that and that shit is fiction, and then attempt to follow him when he tries to get away? And if that wasn't enough, during the time of this mob, him and another author received notification that an air tag was tracking him, which showed on his person all the way to his hotel room.
You mess with demon, devil-worshipping, bestiality Gooner girls, this is what you get.
They molested this guy until he passed out from anxiety. And then they put a tracker on him in order to stalk him back to his hotel. This poor guy dressed like a character in one of the romantasy books at this romantasy convention full of women. That is like throwing roast beef into a pit of wolves. Or in this case, throwing a wolf into a pit of roast beef.
Throwing a cow into a horny single mom.
Remember years ago, there was this thing called cosplay is not consent. Basically, it was a campaign to bring attention to the fact that people at
Little girl, where is half of your shirt? You don't have any chesticles, so you can't be wearing sexy things like that. I mean, there's nothing to show off. I mean, you look just like my son in a wig.
Conventions would often come up to women dressed in sexy costumes and just grope and grab them without their consent. Yeah, apparently.
Well, here's the thing. Like, if you're going to dress like a whore, then, I mean, if someone gropes or grabs you, I know that's illegal. I don't condone it at all. Hear what I'm saying? But you are kind of incentivizing it to happen. Don't come out of the house half naked if you don't want Gooner guys trying to get a piece of you.
We have to bring that back because these women did not get the memo. I've been a furry for over a decade and attended a lot of fur cons. Sure, sometimes weird shit happens, but honestly, I can't believe the dark romance crowd is out here acting like this. Like, me and my buddies in our fursuits are more respecting of consent and bodily autonomy. Get your shit together, y'all. When the furries are calling you out for being freaks.
We saw a furry. We went to an art festival the other day, and there was like 3 guys, and they all had pink and green and blue hair. And one of them was in a giant furry suit, and everywhere he went, people were like, weirding out. And there was a guy who had like a gun who was carrying, and they went up and said, told the guy that it was offensive that he had a gun, and they were scared around him. And then like the police said, he has a right to open carry. He has a right to carry a gun. And then they got mad and upset and got violent with the guy. And the guy's like, look, furries, you need to back off. Like, I'm here with my family just enjoying the festival, and you guys need to back off. And they were so violent and angry, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, if you're so scared of the guy with the gun who's legal in every way, why are you pissing him off? Like, isn't that, I mean, if you attack him, he's gonna use it, he's gonna have to, so what are you doing? The furry people at that festival were insane. They were so violent.
You need to reflect. Something has gone horribly wrong. Not only were the men at this book talk convention assaulted, but women were also assaulted by women. Multiple women, including a performer, reported being assaulted there as well. Even an author there said she was groped and dragged away from her friends and said no matter how many times she said no, quote, my words did nothing. May I remind you, this is a book convention, okay? For books.
Doesn't sound like a book convention, does it, chat?
Literal BDSM clubs are more respectful than this. There needs to be more studies on how this stuff affects women's brains.
Have you drank your Monster yet? I haven't seen you sipping it.
Because clearly some are unable to tell the difference between fantasy and reality. Ivy Lipton, a doctoral candidate in human sexuality.
Chat, take a look. Let me help you out. Take a look at this. What is the most apparent thing about this girl and the lack of her personality? Let me show you. All right, you ready? You see that? She just looks like a weirdo. Okay? All right, you ready for this? You see that? Oh, now there's her whole personality. I found it. There's her personality. Both of them. All right, let's move this back. Oh, where'd her personality go? I can't find it.
Actually wrote about this for EV Magazine. I don't know what a doctoral candidate in human sexuality is, but she's hot, so I trust her. Your brain on orgasms isn't neutral. Dopamine release during climax is a powerful conditioning agent. What you repeatedly fantasize about becomes necessary for arousal. If your erotic imagination centers around abuse, monstrous violence, and submission to non-human entities, your brain is reprogramming itself to crave just that. It's not empowerment, it's neuroplasticity at its darkest. Scientists, psychologists, and the general public often state that men are visual and women are emotional. When it comes to sex, men can be turned on instantly by a sexual image despite their mood, and women need to be turned on emotionally to get in the mood. So it stands to reason that porn for men is visual and porn for women is in the mind. I'm not equating porn to smut novels, because one is a video of two people actually having real sex, and the other is, well, just words on paper. I am, however, talking about the effect on the consumer. We know watching porn is bad for the brain. That's been proven and only rejected by Gooners who don't want to give it up. But is reading smut bad? You might say, duh, that's the whole point. Okay, fair enough. So let me rephrase.
It's incentivizing dangerous and bad behaviors because nobody can check your mind. But there is, if you are a Christian like I am, God says basically if you anger at your brother even, that it's considered murder in his eyes. Jesus said that in John. And, if our mind is to be held captive, the Bible talks about keeping your mind captive, dismissing unholy thoughts, only meditate on what is good and get rid of all the rest. That's basically what it says. So, doing this is direct depravity. No one can check your mind. And if you don't believe in God, whatever. But the reality is, the more you look at this stuff, the more you form a connection and water it down in your mind, and the more you'll need next time to get a bigger hit. This is like a drug. It's absolute depravity. And, the more you play with it, quicker you're going to get burned. But this is bad stuff, and it incentivizes bad thoughts, and bad thoughts incentivize bad behavior, and bad behavior, well, we know what happens with that.
Is reading smut harmful? Should we shame people for things that are wrong, immoral, or harmful? In my line of work, I've been told many times that shame has no place in sex. But if I use my brain for 2 seconds, it's clear that line of thinking is nonsense. Incest should be shamed, bestiality should be shamed, pedophilia should be shamed.
Here's the question. If you're not a Christian, why should bestiality be shamed? There's nothing in the Constitution that says you can't, right? Well, what about incest? What says incest is bad? If you're not a Christian, then what paragraph of the Constitution or what paragraph of our law says incest is bad, right? I'm sure someone can come up with it, but the reality is, if you have nothing to base objective morality on, then technically you can incentivize anything, such as relations with children, in a sexual nature. If you have no basis for morality, then why not? Or murder. Everyone can universally agree. If I come up to you and I off one of the most favorite people in your life, your mother, your daughter, your kid, your dog, whatever, and I just cold blood, just off with their head. And then I say, well, I don't believe in that. Why is it wrong? And the answer is, when our country was founded, we were founded off Christian principles. That's why we say murder is wrong. That's why we say stealing is wrong. That's why we say incest. And all of these things, bestiality, all of these things are wrong because our country was founded on Christian principles. Now, what's happened lately is we're fully in the eyes of legal now. People in the United States almost don't give a rip about God anymore, even though that's what our country was founded on. The reality is now our country is given to a depravity state, a deprivation state, and basically, if you don't think killing is wrong or any of these other things, then, I mean, you can justify anything. What makes anything wrong? Well, because I said so. Well, that's not good enough to these loons. So, yes, even though you may not be Christian, a lot of your ethics and morals, believe it or not, come from an objective reality, Christianity. And that's what we believe.
Equating monster smut with these things, but there are 50 shades of gray, so to speak, along the spectrum of harmful, conditioning your brain and body to associate pleasure with monsters, slavery, or sexual violence is not healthy. Basically, they're cooked. Women are cooked. They are frying their brains with this stuff.
That's why men aren't dating them. It's better that they get an AI robot. It'll make them happier.
Pipeline, right? It's like
They don't talk back.
the infamous evil alt-right pipeline. You start watching ShoeOnHead, owning the feminists in 2015.
Or talk down to you.
And then in
Or demand you do everything while they sit there and steal your money.
2025, you're hailing Hitler, right? The alt-right pipeline. And this one's like, you're reading Morning Glory Milking Farm, and the next thing you know, you're Mrs. Hands, right? Just say no. Just say no to monster porn.
Okay. Well, I do believe we've heard enough of that garbage. She has a great video and style. I really like her content. She really goes through everything. This video was way too long, and it just kept re-emphasizing the same point. I do like her. Give her a sub. Her name is ShoeOnHead. She makes wonderful content. It's kind of like the South Park of YouTube. She just makes fun of Gooner crap and things that males tend to go through. But just to wrap it all up, I mean, it is crazy work just seeing the depravity that most people think is acceptable. We used to come from a society. If you gave that book to my mama and my papa, right, they probably would justify hurting you, harming you, because they believe you are truly of the devil. My mom and my dad, they may, if you gave it to them, they'll just think you're a freak, and they'll tell you to get out of their house, and they'll say never come near them again, but they're not going to hurt you. And it's amazing how as the generations go down, the kids of the kids, it seems that we've gotten more and more away and against God in every aspect. We've justified incest and abortion. We've justified feminism. We've justified hurting your neighbor and being angry at him and murder. And we've justified, all these deprivation acts. I know there's a word for it. I'm just not very smart. Bestiality and all these abominable sins. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you stayed through till the end, thank you. We are a newer channel. I'm trying to get this thing off the ground running. We cover a host of political and women topics, sometimes both. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have anything down, leave it down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you again for watching. Peace.